Good morning. Today we're going to be building a market. It's for clothes. It's going to be good. Let's get into it. Boom! We are back. We're back in the Thaldrum Vale on top of the hill, and we're going to be building a market, and we're going to be reusing some of the styles we've used before in this sort of tropical build. So I got started by placing down foundations for 4 new buildings. You can see the 3 colourful buildings out front, and then in the back we're going to have a huge tailor shop. It's going to be the kind of place you get a nice suit or maybe a wedding dress made, and it's going to be right next to the tanner and the weaver, which are going to be, I guess, important for that. You do need materials to make things. So as the sun sets, let's get to work on putting this market into place. And what I've got planned is going to add another pop of colour to this hilltop. But what is it we're going to be building? It's blue and yellow, but it's not an IKEA and it's not a Blockbuster, because, well, those closed years ago. It's these 2 builds, one bright yellow and the other cyan. And you may recognise this from when we've built buildings just like this in the grand city of Mornington. I can imagine traders from all over the continent coming here to sell their amazing fabrics. And as these buildings are a little bit crazy, we need some crazy camera angles to show you the 3rd building in this collective. We've got a very, very narrow street, so it's kind of hard to see, but it's pretty similar to the other 2. Only it's this rust colour of orange. And so we've got the beginnings in place for our much more colourful and brand new market. But before we can work on the main building of this new fabric market, let's go to a story segment and finally find out about the new king, Olafson IV.
My lord, I come with news. It is a boy. You have a son at last. However, there have been complications.
Complications? What more will this world test me with? Tell me now, boy, what is the problem?
The child was born sickly. In every place he is handled, he becomes inflamed with sores. His coughing is ceaseless. The medics do not believe he will make it through the night. The chief mage of Arborith has offered his help. He believes the boy can be kept alive. The fact we have sustained him this long is progress for sure.
4 daughters and a sickly son. He may have made it to 5 years, but I have never even been able to hold him. Whatever carers we send in are poisoned and have to be dragged from the room by the next. My son is taught to read and write through a window, and my wife perished to bring about this frail heir. What about this is progress?
And we're back, and it's time to take a look at our brand new build, which is this one here. It's a huge tailor shop, and rather than going for the sort of tropical style I've put into the other 3, we're going to be going for a more Tudor style for this build. It has a giant stone foundation and then spruce wood for the rest of the building, with some sort of wool, so that's sort of the colouring you would use for Tudor style. And you can see that this crazy market has a quite interesting footprint on the hill. It really stands out alongside those cherry blossoms as a wonderful pop of colour. And you can see here how narrow this street is going to be. It's going to be absolutely full of people trying to buy clothes. But we're not quite done yet. We do have to put down some market stalls where these white wool markers are. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with this build. So let me know what you think of it so far in the comments down below. Definitely doesn't fit with the rest of Thaldrum, but it's sort of nice to have an area that stands out.
So this is the world they fought for. It stinks of wasted light and meaningless lives. Fragile, fleeting things scurrying beneath a sun that doesn't care if they live. Neither do I. The air belongs to me now, heavy with spores, reshaped in my image. Every breath they take is irrelevant, a byproduct of my survival. How many caretakers suffocated at my feet? How many helpers were dragged from my cave? I never knew their names. I never cared. My father didn't hold me, didn't save me. He left me to rot. Now I rise and their world wilts beneath my shadow. The sun hides, drowning in my tower's veil. Perfect. Let it cower. Let it die. This world was mine the moment I stepped into it. Breathe, city. Choke, struggle, it doesn't matter. For years I was nothing to you. Now you are nothing to me. You mention this thing called day and this thing called night. Of the two, which is this?
This is a morning, my lord. The very start of the day.
The mages told me it would be bright like a candle of sorts in the sky. They warned me it would blind me to stare at it. Where is this now?
Gone, my lord. Hidden behind the veil of your spore spire.
Good. You say the separatists worship this cloaked candle. Perhaps we pen them a letter, a taste of what's to come.
Of course, my lord. Our spies in Mornington implied that an heir to their kingdom was on the way. They are predicting a girl.
Let's make sure it doesn't live long enough to inherit that throne.
I've got a feeling that that guy needs some real help. But here we go. There's 4 market stalls here, each with different colours on the roof. And this is going to be a place for smaller vendors to sell maybe buttons or maybe some sewing thread or something interesting like that. But I'm pretty sure this build is finished now and it looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to working on the sort of cloth producer and the tanner shop, which are going to go nearby. But for the rest of the episode, I'm going to add a few details to help connect up this park and this market. But as it's the 15th of January, it's time to announce the winner of our monastery competition. A few weeks ago, I set a challenge to design the tower top of this monastery. And our only entry was chord_7 on the Discord. I couldn't actually load in the schematic because, I don't know why it didn't work, but I was able to open it in Lightmatica and I built it from the schematic and it looks pretty good. I'm planning to bring this in to the monastery in the next episode and show it off for you guys. I'm also going to do a ton of work to make the monastery suit this style even more, adding a few other buildings dotted around with a similar build style. But let me know what you think of today's build, which is this crazy market. And hopefully in the next episode, you'll get to see the amazing monastery in its entirety. So my final message is that I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope your day is as bright and colourful as the 3 new buildings in this market. I know it's going to be winter for many of the people watching this video, so do your best to keep away the winter blues. It's certainly winter for me, it's very cold at the moment. But I hope you have the most amazing day and an amazing tomorrow as well, because I'm not going to see you until Friday. But in the meantime, have an amazing day, a couple wonderful mornings, and I'll see you then.